Hello everyone, Stick here, and welcome back to City Skylines. Now, my sound didn't end up recording properly, and um, during recording, so I'm recording this voice after the fact. So this video might be a little shorter than what I was intending, but it's okay. In the last episode, we created this new city park, which I think we could use a little new name at some point. But the park came out pretty good, and so we'll eventually clean up all the power lines and we'll move the water plant that's next to it as well. Clean that up. Maybe add a few more trees too. And so we start off the episode um, with a busy town milestone actually, which is good. And then we get some new roads with this. We get the oil power plant, and then some other things that can be useful down the line. So we'll definitely take a look at those and maybe implement some of that as well, which will be nice. And then in between episodes, I started filling out and zoning some of the more residential areas that we had. Um, we last episode we had made some additional streets that we just didn't end up using just yet because we didn't have any need for at the time. But I started filling some of that out. Added a little bit more commercial. Added a library to get some more education, and then I think I added maybe another fire station and another medical thing there. My main goal for this episode, as you can probably tell from the thumbnail and the title, is also to create a new industrial area, because the one we have now, it's not bad, but it kind of needs to be moved away from all of our residential, commercial area, and clean up this pollution and get it to a more permanent place, as well as it be located near or closer to the highways. And I think it'll just be better overall for our city as it grows. So to start off, we need to purchase the new tile, because since it's out the area, and I kind of want to keep this industrial area closer to the highway. So our first road is going to be pretty close to it, and then parallel with it as well. Um, I wanted to keep it closer to the highway because we have some rail lines, and I feel like we can eventually connect a rail station um, towards the back of this new tile. And so this way, keeping everything close to the highway will allow us to have more space later on for the railway when we unlock that. So then I also made this little off ramp over here. This way we can have some trucks entering from this section of the highway, and then we'll have to end up making some more on and off ramps just because we have so many highways. But for now, we're only gonna do this one, and then one on the other side, and then later on, maybe this episode or the next one, make a few more. Like I was saying, we also add another ramp over on the other side. That way they can get back onto the highway, because you know otherwise then they'd just be stuck in this commercial area or this industrial area and have nowhere to get out. And so like I was saying, based on the locations and stuff, we'll need to add a few more on and off ramps in the future, especially since we have one highway leading to another highway. So to provide more options and locations for them to go. This area I thought originally was a bit more flat, but slightly more hilly than I thought, so we had to do some terraforming prior to getting our layout really started. Because I don't want to make it too hilly, at least for this area. Just it'd be a little easier and look a little bit better. Now I'm not the best at terraforming, but I think it works for the size of our district and what we need it to be doing. So for our road layout, I start making this large roundabout type thing, um, which really, honestly, it's just to break up all the grids that we have everywhere, just to provide something a little different. Now I also follow the curve for a couple streets, just like I said, to continue that diversity a little bit, but I also have some roads that are perpendicular to the main industry road, the first one that I put down, just to, mix it up. I know this isn't exactly symmetrical, and it's probably bothering a few of y'all, but that's okay. I think it works enough for what we needed to do. So I think this layout and everything turned out fairly well. Eventually, we'll have to add some pathways and plazas to provide, some easier access or movement within the industrial area and keep some entertainment value, hopefully, and whatever else we need to do to raise the land value and everything, or the value of these homes and let them level up. Not homes, the industry buildings and stuff. Then we move on to just zoning some residential areas and some commercial to keep up with the current demand, because that's obviously always going to be growing. But doing the layout beforehand, like I did before, kind of just makes this a little bit easier. And so we already have the street set up. Now we can just go ahead and zone them. And so earlier I was looking like the little parks and things, and I noticed the botanical garden, and so I thought that'd be fun to put. So I figured right here we could start building a little road to extend, or make a new like arterial road over here. Well, it'll eventually become that big. Right now it's not, but it'll be good. And then we can have a little off-road that we can put our botanical garden on. And I feel like this is just a good area, and it's a nice sized park, so it should work pretty well. And then while we're at it, we'll go ahead and add some more commercial around the garden. We do have a large area in the back, which I didn't really think about, but that's okay. We'll just turn that into a nice little pathway and put some rocks and some trees and all the good stuff. And so this is how it turned out, and I think it looks pretty good. It works well for what we need, which is a little bit extra sidewalks, which, always helpful to have more of those. And then really it's just to fill the space anyways, and doesn't need anything too crazy. But we'll go ahead and add another pathway in connecting to the main road. That way provide a little bit more walking access. So that's good, and hopefully we can get some people coming to this botanical garden. And then so as per usual in City Skylines, you just gotta keep zoning. And so we're doing some more residential zoning in this area. And then apparently one of our power plants caught on fire. So while that fixes itself eventually, we end up adding some more power in the form of the new oil power plant that we just unlocked recently. And needing to put this new power plant also gives us a good reason to start using our new industrial layout. And so this would also mean that we need to start bringing utilities over. We could have did it earlier, but we just didn't have enough money. So we're just holding on that for now. So we'll bring our power lines across, and then we'll do the same thing with our water, just connecting that to the old areas. And then after doing that, we can finally start relocating some of the industrial zoning that we had in our old section. But we're just going to do this a little at a time, some this episode, some next episode, and going from there. This way we don't have all our demand doesn't go all out of whack, We don't want it changing all at once. So we'll just leave a small section. This way we can start putting some pathways in here as well. And we'll continue adding some pathways and things in here as well. Lastly, to round off today's episode, we'll put in another ramp to get onto the other direction of the highway. That way they have a few more options, and it's a little bit easier getting back to the other city or to the main city. Now, I want this to go right underneath the ramp that we put in earlier, but it's kind of needs to curve a little quickly. So it does take a little while to get the proper curve that I'm looking for, but eventually we get something that looks well and it works good, and it's nice and lines up well enough with the highway, and so it's an easy ramp to get on. And so with that being said, I hope you all have enjoyed today's video. Sorry for it being a little odd with all the sound settings being messed up and everything. Hopefully we'll get that all taken care of and everything. This episode was a little shorter than what I want it to be, especially compared to the other two videos I have. But I kind of like the longer City Skylines videos, but maybe I'll like this more. Y'all can let me know. But I hope y'all enjoyed watching, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Goodbye.